Hi guys, welcome to Barron's Online. Today I'm going to take you through a Pilates class, 30 minutes, hopefully you're going to enjoy, and let's get started. So we're going to start off legs hip distance apart onto our mats. We're going to start to think about our starting position. So what I want you to start to think about is lifting yourself as tall as you can. Imagine you've got that piece of string really lengthening you up to the ceiling, and then we're just going to start to have a little forwards and back rock. Just taking the weight into the toes and then back into the heels. Just trying to find out where our centre point is. So if we just start to reduce the amount we're forwards and back rocking and just settle so we can settle in neutral. Hands onto the hips, the same with the pelvic tilts. We have a forwards and a back tilt. So again, this is just a really nice way of just trying to find our neutral position. So just settling midway between those 2 points. Just settling here, bring the hands to the side of the rib cage and start to think about breath. So lateral breathing, that's an outward breath movement. So as we take the breath in, you look to feel that expansion in your ribs as you breathe out. Relaxation, so breath in, breath out. Let's have a little practice. You should feel the expansion and relaxation as you take that breath in and as you take that breath out. So it's an inward and outward movement as you're breathing. If we can learn to breathe laterally once we engage our muscles, we can keep the muscles nicely engaged all the time. So start to think about now lifting the pelvic muscles up, so we're thinking of lifting and squeezing, really pulling all the way up, and then again just releasing out to about 30%. The abdominals, we're going to draw the belly button back. You just place your hands onto your belly, pull the belly button back towards your spine, and then just release it out to about 30% so we keep that engagement. Bring your arms down, let's just start to mobilise the body. So we're going to start off with a simple rotation of the head as we start to think about mobilising from the top to the bottom. So just those little head rotations. Coming back to centre, dropping the ear down and lifting and again. So lengthening into the side of the neck and chin comes down towards the chest and lift. So notice that length that we're feeling into the top of the spine, and then bring the chin down and just start to roll the chin. And again. Feeling into the spine, really stretching, coming back to centre, lifting the head. We go for the shoulder shrugs. So we're lifting and lowering, just releasing any tension. By that lifting and lowering, we're going to go for a lovely rotation, just really opening into the chest and reverse. Just bring your hands into that prayer position. We have that spinal rotation, trying to think about keeping the hips still. So that rotation is coming from the back and again. Coming back to centre, take the arms out to the side. We start to imagine that someone is just pulling the hand to one direction and then the other. Reaching and again. And let's take it to an overhead. Stretch and again. So feeling down the side of the body, really lengthening. And again coming over and down. Take the hands just across the chest. Let's have a couple of squats. So down and lift. Keeping those knees nice and soft, and just watching the knee is just tracking that second toe. Let's go for 2 more. Last one. Bring your arms down. Let's have a little bit of a foot pedal. Just warming up into the feet. Lift and lower. Nice and controlled. So don't lift the other foot till the other foot is actually down, back. So we're thinking about maintaining that pelvic stability. Lift. 2 more. Raise the arms up and let's just have a little swing. And again, 2 more. Last one. And bring those arms down, well done. So from here we're going to lift the arms up. We're going to come over to the side. Exhale, lifting back to center. So it's a breath in and out. Really using the side of the waist to lift you back. 1 more to each side. Bring the arms down, step the legs in. Lift the arms up, and this time we come over, push the opposite hip out, and lift, push out, lift. So again, just pushing the opposite hip out to the side. And once again, bring the arms down. Let's take the legs a little wider, the toes slightly out. Bring the arms up, coming over. Exhaling to lift. So a little bit harder the wider the stance. Go and keep the shoulders down. Try and maintain the biceps next to your ears. And again. So again, really feeling this into the side of your waist. One more to each side. And exhale, bring the arms down, well done. So we're going to bring ourselves down onto our mats. In a seated position, the feet flat into the mat, bringing your arms just underneath the knees, ankles, knees and hips aligned. We take a breath in. As we breathe out, we start to round into the spine. Pelvis tilts. Roll up. Exhale, draw that belly in, tilt the pelvis, and round. Breath out. Lift. And again. So really rounding into the spine. Let's take the arms out exactly the same, so we create that curve into the spine, the chin slightly nods. And then we roll up. Exhale. Roll. And again. Round. So again, draw the belly in. Now you can take this a little bit further if you wish. So you can stick with that. If you want to, come all the way down to your mat. Roll all the way down. Breath in, breath out, start to roll up. And again, breath out. Nice and controlled. Lift the arms up. So again, if this isn't right for you, stick with your half roll down. So we can add to this further. We roll down, control. We take a lovely arm circle around. And we roll. So again, we'll just add in the arm circle. You don't have to. Nice circle around. Roll up. Exhale. Control. So lots of different options for you to choose. Two more. Last one, round the spine, draw the belly in. Arm circle. And lift, well done. So we're going to lay onto our sides. Your underneath arm extends and the head rests on the hand, on the arm. Other arm is forward just to support you. We're going to do a bit of a sideline sequence. So we're going to go up with a pointed foot, down with a flex. Now just have a little check out of your body and make sure that your hips are stacked. So nothing sticking out. Control. Point and flex. We're going to reverse. I want you to come up on a flex, down a point. Nice and controlled. Hold the leg, have a little tiny pulse. So lying on your side, you're going to automatically work your core quite hard. It's working hard to keep you stable. Let's add a little circle here. Again, just a nice small movement, just making sure that your body stays in that aligned position. Opposite direction. There's little circles from here. Bring the knee in, out, lift. So then that knee comes in, comes out, lift. And again, in, towards the chest, lift. Nice and controlled. Well done. From here we're going to come forward on a flex, behind you on a point. Forward on a flex, behind on a point. This time just come forwards and bring that leg down in front. Flex your underneath leg here, and again it's that lift and lower. So we're squeezing and working into the inner thigh. Lift. Squeeze. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Well done. So we're going to move on the other side. Do exactly the same. So I'm going to rest my head on my underneath arm. My hand comes in front to support. I'm making sure that I've got stability here and my hips are stacked. I'm going to go up on a point, down on a flex. So I'm not leaning back, using my stability in my core muscles to keep me stable. Control that lift in the lower. Now reverse, we're going to come up on that flex, down the point. Little tiny pulse. And a little tiny circle around. Opposite direction. From here, come forwards on a flex, back on a point. From here, knee comes in and lifts. And the knee in, lift. And this time bring that leg down to the front, flex the underneath foot, lift and lower that leg. Squeezing that inner thigh. Last one, well done. From here, just slowly bring yourself back up. Into an all fours position. Sit in your all fours, make sure your knees under your hip and your wrists are under your shoulder. So, we take the arm forwards, out to the side, and then we're just going to push forwards. Start to work into the shoulder. Control. Bring the arm back, the arm is bent. From here we bring the hand down and back. Last one. And bring the hand down. Exactly the same on the other side. So bring the arm forward, just bend the elbow, and then we're just going to push forwards. Tummy tight. Keep the elbow bent and then just drop the hand and lift. Two more. Well done, just bring yourself back into a child's pose. Just reach forwards and just stretch here. And release. Very slowly bring yourself down onto your mat. Nice and gently. Let's take the hands to a clasp position. Bring the hands just behind the head. The elbows come out to the side. The eyes looking up towards the ceiling as you take the breath out. We lift. Inhale to lower. Really squeezing as you're lifting. Let's add rotation. So lift, rotate, center, lower, lift, rotate, center, lower, lift, rotate, come to the center, lower down, lift, rotate, center, lower, lift. Nice and controlled. the elbows out to the side. Just go back to the lift on the lower, lift. Nice and controlled. Two more. Last one, well done. Just stretch out from the fingers down to the toes. Draw the belly in. Bring the knee in towards the chest. Lengthen the leg. Bend that knee. Feel the hamstring stretch. And release. The same on the other side, bring the knee in towards the chest. Take a lengthened leg, smoothing behind the knee. Bend in the knee. Leg down. One arm comes across the body, stretching out the shoulder. The same on the other side. And release. Bringing those knees in towards the chest. We take a little massage of our spine, a little rock from side to side. Slowly, slowly up to seated. Bringing yourself into a crouch position. From your crouch, we'll take a lengthened leg. Slowly bringing the head up last, roll up through the spine. Take a little chest stretch, squeezing. Bring the arms forwards. Lift. Come over to the side. And take a breath in. Out. And again. Bring your hands down. And give yourself a big clap. Well done, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed that class. Take care and see you soon.